All right, so if a 1 hour closure, and we were starting this live chat back here, and I let them know if you get a 1 hour candle closure above 43.30, then team bulls are like definitely in favor. And what happened, late at night when we were sleeping, a 1 hour did go above. So let me go to the 1 hour chart. A 1 hour went above, but it did not close above. So therefore, the conditions for team bulls, in terms of your probabilities, are very strong that today will be green and perhaps a big green day. The condition for team bulls, it hasn't met either. So right now it's still stuck in limbo, which is represented by the idea that we're both kind of playing in that projector area, and the battle is the daily open line represented right there. And, and that should be your perfect circle coming back around. However, in this very moment, very micro time frames, take this moment to give me a quick thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check out the Discord community within the description section, follow me on Twitter at cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward, and if online community is not your thing but you want exclusive content above and beyond what I offer on YouTube, click the join button right below this video. Another video will pop up describing your options to you. That's a good buyback off that. Let me get rid of the projector tool. That is a pretty good buyback. So you see how important this line is? Look at this 5-minute candle come down there, wick perfectly, and people bought that line up. Now you're making a higher local high. So right now, team bulls, they really are starting. Look at this candle. This candle's really starting to go. Team bulls are definitely in favor right now. I would say the odds are probably closer to 52 to 55%, but you still don't have a 1 hour candle closure above this trend line. Could this hour do it? Well, it ends in 12 minutes, so we're going to find out during this live stream if it's going to turn into another one of these and it'll come right back below and come test this line again, or is it going to close above? And if it closes above, then it's very likely going to get continuation, perhaps a small pullback, but it's likely not going to pull back to the daily open line if you get a 1 hour closure above that line. And so this blue line is represented, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see what it is over years and years. Let me even go to the 2-day chart. Watch. This is the master origin line, which is in the channel around it. So parallel channels around it. It's the most important line in all of Bitcoin history. So it's playing with it right here, just like it did back here, just like it did back here after the capitulation of 20K in 2017. If we zoomed into that area, for example, you can see how price played pretty similarly, actually, with the lines. It played within the lines on the master origin line. This was actually slightly more bullish because it used the master origin line, the middle one, as support a little bit more. And so that's the 2-day chart. It looks a little bit different than the 5-minute chart. And if we go to current time, the same lines, price simply has not used this master origin line as support. Really at all yet. It used this blue line as support and had a nice pump. Then it came down, used the bottom line as support, had a nice pump. Bottom line, small pump. Bottom line, pump. Has not used that master origin line. And that is one of the reasons why I was thinking today would be at least a 1-day pullback. I was thinking, come on, we need to use this as support before we get a big push off. That was one of my things, even though I already knew that the odds were, roughly 50-50 at that time. So we're going to get a 1 hour closure here. I guess the 15-minute also represents it. So we're going to have a 1 hour closure in 10 minutes on this live show. So in 10 minutes, we'll come back to see if the 1 hour closed above this blue line. Can you see how important this line is? This line goes back years and years. Isn't this crazy? Look at all these wicks. These lines are real. They're totally, they're absolutely real. And what the hell is this line on my chart? I don't know what this is. What did I do there? I don't know. That's not my daily open line. Wonder what that is. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm not sure what that is. All right, and I'll put my projector tool back on so we can kind of see what's going on there. Yeah, and that is why I have all this micro time frame analysis here, because I kind of thought today would be a battle around this line. And I even took a poll within there asking, hey, who's on Team Doji? Who thinks it's going to be a Doji candle? No one really picked one. And it's either folks thought it was going to be red day, a small pullback, perhaps down to back to the origin line, which was kind of what I was thinking. And other people thought, no, there's too much momentum. It's going to be green day. No one voted Doji. But as of right now, Doji is kind of is looking fairly probable. Unless you get a 1 hour closure above here, then it should really take off. And that is so I guess, hopefully my micro time frame analysis in context with the battle between the mid-small time frames, like 1 hour to 4 hour, kind of saying, hey, we need a small pullback, versus the daily and 2 day saying, hey, we can keep going up. You can see how it all fits, the micro time frames fits within that struggle. between those two sets of data points, right? And you typically don't see me on YouTube doing any sort of micro time frame, super small time frame analyses, but I do this a little bit more, this type of stuff, more in my community, because we like to get into positions, and in order to get into positions, if you're using leverage, it's really good to try to finesse them, so you get it at the point of a little bit momentum to the upside, so you don't have to get scarce to the downside and be getting stopped out. You want to reduce how many times you're stopped out by finesse, and really diving down to the small time frames like this is how you, over time, you greatly increase your profit margin if you like to trade and click around, because you get scared out of a good position less if you finesse, and simply the times that you're wrong, your finesse allows you typically to get your stops in profit or right at break even, and then you were wrong but you didn't lose any money. That's the important of the micro time frame analysis, but always keeping in context of the larger time frame. So in context, so going to the daily, this was what I was talking about earlier. I'm going to throw on the RSI. I was thinking that today simply needed to go like this. I really thought this juncture, here, I'm still drawing lines. I need to teach myself how to use TradingView. So this is the daily RSI, right, with control zones. So you see how each has a juncture. So this is one juncture, the end of the juncture, new juncture to juncture, juncture to juncture. So each of these represents a day. I was thinking this juncture right here, my thoughts were it wanted to do this first, and maybe even a second day wick below, all right, maybe even a second juncture going like that, maybe, and then really spike off, something like that, and then continuance run. That's sort of what I was looking for, and that was one of the pieces where I thought, yeah, I'm going to pick Team Red mostly because of that reason. However, Bitcoin can separate greatly from its EMA just fine for multiple days, like 1, 2, that's like 3 days, 4 days, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, that was 9 days, like 8 or 9 days, just straight up almost, back in early February when I think it went up to 44K or something like that. So it doesn't have to pull back. However, because of this nice structure here, I just thought it would keep the structure and then take off to then get some momentum into this bullish control zone, which if that were to happen on the daily, that would be Bitcoin at 50K. And that would still, and you might say, but your midterm time frame bearish, Tim. Yeah, I am. But I'm still thinking whales are, market movers and shakers are going to want to create a very large fake out first to the upside debate, to get everybody bullish and then just drop it like a rock, almost exactly like back in May of 2021. The same group of coordinated folks who were printing an exact Wyckoff shape. They also used part of their money to pump Ethereum and Bitcoin pump Ethereum and Cardano as Bitcoin made a lower high, right? To even fool people more that the market, and it fooled me. I got tricked out. I was one of the earliest bearish people in March, making videos. There's too much bearish divergence. It's got to have a pretty big pullback. I think I was saying 42.5. I was thinking it's got to pull back to 42.5 even after it hit 64K, something like that. It's got to hit 42.5. And then during that fake out when Ethereum and Cardano got pumped while Bitcoin was making a lower high after the 64K high, I had to flip bullish, and then 2 days later, kablam! And that's, I think, something similar has a chance of happening before my midterm bearish type of guess plays out. So let's see if this hour has closed. Nope, it's got 4 more minutes. It looks like it wants to stay above this line. It's going to be pretty close. Let's go to the hour chart. It's got 4 minutes left. Let's see here. Let's take a look at